Hello, my name is Karen LeBlanc, and I am working as a public engagement consultant with the District Department of Transportation on the Connecticut Avenue Streetscape and Deckover project. The slideshow you are about to review was presented to the community during a public meeting held on April 23rd at St. Margaret's Church, located at 1830 Connecticut Avenue Northwest in Washington, D.C. If you are interested in receiving a link to the recording of that full meeting, please email the project email provided at the end of this presentation. The following slides will provide a project overview, scope, construction schedule, construction phasing, including information about any temporary closures, and contact information to find out more about the project. The Connecticut Avenue Streetscape and Deckover project location is between DuPont Circle on the north side by the Starbucks and California Street in Northwest Washington, D.C. There are two components to the project, the streetscape work and the Deckover work. Again, the two components to the project are the streetscape improvements and the installation of a new deck that will create new public space over the existing exposed roadway that continues beneath DuPont Circle. The goals of the streetscape improvements are to support safe and effective multimodal access to pedestrians, automobiles, bicyclists, and transit. The contractor will work to upgrade sidewalks, streetlights, landscape, drainage, and traffic signals, and will provide a new protected bike facility. The Deckover Plaza will create a new public space for the community for strolling, relaxing, working, and other future programming. Now let's take a look at the project scope. First, we're going to review the streetscape improvements, which are the improvements that are going to occur between Q Street to California Street along this corridor in Northwest DC. One of the design features of the streetscape will be the build out of protected bike lanes to connect the bike facilities network in the city to Columbia Road, R Street, and future 20th Street bike facilities. Additional features will include the upgrading of the sidewalks with pressed concrete pavers, new curb and gutter and ADA ramps, the traffic median islands, and the new protected bike lanes that we mentioned earlier, streetlights and traffic signals upgrade, drainage upgrades including new storm drainage facilities, bioretention planters, and permeable pavers for storm management, improved landscaping with trees and tree pits with structural soil, street furniture that will include benches and multi-space parking meters, and then also updating infrastructure and utilities as well. Here you can see a sample of the layout of these new streetscape improvements. This slide represents the block along Connecticut Avenue from T Street to Florida Avenue. You can pause the presentation here if you wish to take a moment. Using the legend provided, you can see where new teardrop streetlights will be installed, both single and twin luminaire, new traffic signals, and more aesthetic features, as I mentioned, including benches, bioretention planters, and new planting areas, as well as safety improvements with upgraded crosswalks and conflict markings, which are markings that alert a pedestrian, cyclist, or driver to potential conflicts with other modes. This slide shows how the lanes look across Connecticut Avenue. Starting from left to right, there will be the sidewalk, then a planted area where you will have trees and other greening, then the protected cycle facility, a curb to separate the bikes from the vehicles, then you see the northbound and southbound travel lanes, and then a mirror image on the other side, first the protection curb, then the cycle track, the planted area, and then the sidewalk. Now let's take a look at the Deckover Plaza, which is nestled in the area just north of DuPont Circle up to Q Street. The Deckover project will require multiple stakeholder and utility coordination. During construction, pedestrian access will be maintained to the many retail shops and restaurants that align both sides of the street. The existing service travel lanes will be closed to traffic. Detours will be put in place and DDOT will ensure advance notification of any maintenance of traffic changes. In order to build the deck over the existing underpass lanes, the contractor will build a trolley tunnel wall foundation and then install a new deck structure over the underpass. Here we see the existing space between DuPont Circle and Q Street. The new design will provide a curbless open space that will be a community gathering spot for events and other programming. Safety bollards along with green plantings will be installed on the border of the new plaza to ensure safety for all. The service lanes will reopen to traffic when construction is completed, but may be closed for events or other programming as approved. On this slide, which shows the Deckover block once it is complete, you will also see similar streetscape elements like the previous streetscape slides you saw earlier. See the raised planters, benches, bike racks, trees, and bus shelter locations, all of which will be installed as part of the Deckover section of the project. Here you can see the existing conditions of what the area looks like today. Within the large sidewalls are the trolley tunnels with their utility infrastructure. While the trolleys no longer run, a large portion of the area on the east side of the circle is now home to DuPont Underground, a thriving art exhibit space. The outline here in red shows where the new infrastructure will be built to support the new Deckover. The contractor will need some public space to stage for the ongoing construction. During the design phase, it was determined and agreed by all that the best location would be along the area on Massachusetts Avenue. You can see the location in the teal-colored rectangle on this slide. This also shows the area where the contractor may access the existing trolley tunnels. Next, we will go over construction sequencing. As this is a construction project, all dates and times are subject to weather, so we encourage people to go to the project website for the latest updates once construction is underway. The project website and email are provided at the end of this presentation. The contract was awarded to the contractor in February of 2025, but this does not mean construction will start right away. There is a lot of coordination, submittals, schedules, and many other parts of preparing for construction that must take place first. Actual construction is not expected to begin until later in the summer. Once construction does begin, construction crews are allowed to work on the streetscape work that is not behind the barriers, so that's within the street itself, between the hours of 9:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. Any work that's done behind the barriers, such as sidewalk work behind Jersey barriers or the deckover work below ground, the contractor is allowed to work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The contractor may also need to work nighttime hours, but that will require prior approval from DDOT. Any changes will be communicated to the community via email and on the project website. Construction for the entire project is anticipated to take approximately 24 months. The streetscape work will be done in sections to minimize impacts to businesses and to allow consistent travel lanes to be open. The deckover work will be continuous. Here we have an estimated sequence for the project. Let's focus on just the streetscape for now. To minimize impacts to the traveling public and the businesses along the corridor, the crews will work in phases or shorter segments of the sidewalks and only on one side of the street. The crews will begin work on the median from California Street to S Street, then move to the Center Island area at California Street, and then phase two, which is the red area you see between California and Bancroft, and move southbound along Connecticut Avenue and so on. The crews will then move over to the northbound side once they get down to Q Street and head back up northbound toward California Street. Each phase will be completed before the next phase is started. All 7 blocks will not be worked on all at once, just sections at a time. And again, traffic will be maintained a minimum 1 lane in the area where the sidewalk is being constructed. Here we see how pedestrian access is being maintained while construction is ongoing in the sidewalk areas. If they're working in the blue section, pedestrians will be allowed to walk in the red section. If they're working out in the street on the red section, pedestrians will be allowed to walk on the blue section. At all times, access to businesses, residents, and other accessory points along the sidewalk will be allowed. And we will continue to work with the businesses and residents to ensure that they are aware of what is going on while construction is occurring. As with all infrastructure projects, oftentimes there is a need to detour traffic. The streetscape portion between Q and California will not require detours as noted previously, as there will be a minimum of 1 lane traffic at all times. However, for the Deckover project, the service lanes will be closed, and as such, there will be a detour necessary. Q Street between Connecticut Avenue and 19th Street, and 19th Street from Q Street to the Circle, will be designated two-way to allow traffic to and from the Circle. Clear signage will be installed to guide traffic through the detour during the project. These next slides illustrate where work will be taking place during various phases of the deckover, as crews will move from one side of the street to the other and then to the underpass roadway. More importantly, they show what will be open to pedestrians, to the retail and restaurants in this block, and how people will be able to continue to access them through all phases of the project. Here you can see in the blue section, this is phase 10A. In the blue section, you see where the existing sidewalk continues to be open while they work in the street. Here in phase B, you see where tunnel foundation work is happening. Again, above the ground, as we just showed you, the service lanes are closed, but the sidewalks are accessible. And here you say that from an overview as well. Existing sidewalks are open while the crews work in the other lanes. During the final two phases, the underpass lanes will be periodically and temporarily closed as the crews install the Deckover Plaza. And you can see that again here. The order of the Deckover phases is here on this slide. First, the crews will work on the sidewalks, then the foundation work, the beams and the deck are installed, and then final finishes above ground. DDOT sincerely appreciates the participation, partnership, and interest from all of our stakeholders and partners, many of whom are listed here. DDOT is focused on public engagement during the project to ensure people are notified of any changes, and more importantly, that they're aware of updates and milestones as the project team works through the Connecticut Avenue Streetscape and Deckover project. There is a project website and project email. Please check the website for more information as the project progresses. The website information is here. It's conab-streetscape.ddot.dc.gov. The project email is conab.deckover@dc.gov and is monitored frequently. There were also yard signs put up along Connecticut Avenue. Those will be swapped in and out as the project progresses that provide a QR code and remind people that the project is ongoing. The QR code will take you to the project website. There's a project office on site. We will continue business and residential outreach. There'll be regular project updates via email. There will be updates provided at the ANC meetings, and any information about traffic detours and other advisories will be sent out in advance so people can prepare for any changes to the traffic flow or other information that is necessary. Once again, here is the project contact information and the website. Feel free to scan the QR code, which will take you directly to the website. This concludes this presentation. Thank you.